friends, it is Sat Chat time. I'm Lindsay, the frugal crafter, or extravagant artist. I don't know. You know the name. I just had the name so long. It's just gonna stick. Yeah, it's me. How's it going? This is Sat Chat. Disclaimer: you're not gonna learn anything. It's just a weekly catch up. But I do have a lot of videos on the channel. Over 3,000, over 3,100. If you do want to learn something. Avoid the Sat Chats. I saw that YouTube now is doing this like podcast feature, so I'm thinking about going through my podcast archives over on Anchor and maybe putting some of those on my YouTube channel. I've got to research that a little bit more, but I think that's kind of cool. I would definitely rather dive into that new offering from YouTube rather than YouTube Shorts, but I don't know. I'm kind of warming up to the idea of doing some YouTube Shorts and just like maybe doing like some quick tips, or maybe taking like kind of the good parts for some older videos and like making them into shorts. I don't know how. I don't know how do they do that. I think there's probably some sort of like way to do it within the YouTube app, but yeah, I need to investigate it, but it's kind of low on the priority list because I have a lot of other projects I'm working on. In fact, I've got about 6 weeks of freelance work lined up that I'm actually gonna be starting today after I film Sat Chat, and that's gonna keep me pretty busy. But a lot of times I need to shift gears, so having other little things to work on is good for that. Plus, I figured that like with Instagram focusing on Reels so much, if I could have those short 1-minute videos that were vertical that I could use on both platforms, it might be useful. I never really looked at Instagram as a place where I'm like gonna grow and get popular or anything, but more as a place where I could just kind of like have still photos of my artwork if somebody wants to either get a kind of like a preview of what's going to be coming up on the YouTube channel for a tutorial, or just be kind of like an archive of artwork. But it's just it's I don't know. It's not really, I think that's the best use of it, honestly. I prefer to look at people's still artworks when I'm looking through Instagram. I follow art accounts and that's what I want to see. But I'm not seeing that when I go there. I want to see the people I follow and I want to see their photos. But I wish we could like turn off Reels as far as like users of Instagram. But anyway, you know, if you can't beat them, join them, right? I mean, it's like, what are you gonna do? Take your ball and go home? I mean, well, that's fine. If you're not, you know, making a living with your art, you gotta kind of play by their rules, I guess. That's depressing. It's just so depressing. So what's new? What's new? Like I said, a bunch of different videos this week. The art instructor kits that I filmed a few years ago for Royal & Nine Nickel are finally out. I've had several viewers tag me saying that they have purchased them or sent pictures of like the end cap displays at Hobby Lobby. As far as the other big craft stores, I don't think they have them yet, but a lot of like independent craft stores are stocking them. So if you get a local craft store, go see if they have the art instructor kits. I guess if you have a big box craft store too, you could always ask them if they will stock the Lindsay Weirich art instructor kits. You know, if you're interested in getting them. But yeah, otherwise it's just kind of like a check, you know, when you go into your store, see if they have them. I haven't seen them online to buy. They are listed on the Hobby Lobby site, but I haven't seen them on Amazon to purchase yet, but who knows, hopefully they'll make their way out there if you're looking for them. I do want to be absolutely transparent and clear here. The products in there are Royal & Nine Nickel products. They are the basic Royal & Nine Nickel essentials products that you would find no matter what Royal & Nine Nickel supplies you purchased. So it's not like a bespoke product or anything, and they are beginner products. They're student grade, budget friendly products. I mean, the kits are like $18, so it's not a professional quality product. It's kind of like to introduce you to a medium and see if that's something you'd want to explore further. I didn't have a hand in choosing the materials for that. It was kind of like, this is the kit that we're putting together. We need some beginner tutorials for it, and that's what I did. So I just wanted to put that out there, be absolutely transparent with you guys, and that way, if you're interested in it, you can find it, and if that's not what you're interested in, then you don't buy something that you're not going to use, that you're not, you know, I want to make sure people's expectations are met. I think it'd be a great gift for somebody just getting into a particular medium. It's a good starting point. You don't have to spend a ton of money or worry that you're going to be wasting a ton of money if you don't like it. You know, you get to try it with some decent materials and see what you think, and then you can go from there. So what else is new this week? Well, last couple of weeks I've started a new workout routine. So I walk every day anyway, and I feel like walking is just such a really great, just like base level fitness thing. It's just good for your mental health, good for your body, good for just getting out and getting fresh air. I started rereading the book by Dr. Weil, 8 Weeks for Optimum Health, and he talks about walking, you know, kind of starting where you are. Like if you can just get up and walk from the couch to the door, and that's as far as you can walk, just start there. You know, he's very like all the stuff in there is very progressive. It's like start where you are and just improve in incremental bits. And I always loved that book, and I had checked it out from the library many years ago, and then I purchased a copy of it, probably at a library book sale, I don't know, but I kind of forgot about it. And my husband was doing a major culling of our bookcases, because our bookcases are like chock-a-block full. We've got a couple really big bookcases in our bedroom. We've got like a built-in bookcase in the living room. We've got a bookcase shoved in the hallway. I've got a bookcase in the room of hoard with all my art books on it. I mean, we have a lot of books. And so he was going through, and I typically don't keep a book after I read it. I read it and then I give it away usually. Unless it's like an art reference book, then I will keep it so I can go back to it. Or it's like a favorite book, then I will keep it. And nowadays, I do most of my reading on my phone. It's got like the backlit screen, so, and it's always with me, so if I'm like sitting in the car waiting, I can read. I can, you know, read in the tub, you know, they'll let the screen lights up so it's easy to see. I read on the couch. Doesn't really matter. I have a phone with me, so I do most of my reading on the little screen. And so that works out good for me. But so he was going through this stack of books that were like, they weren't his, but he didn't know if I was interested in them. And so like, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to keep that book. I'm going to read that again. And then it's like, then there was another one. Oh, I'm going to read that one again. So I have like this stack of books that I've like kind of picked them all up at one point in the last like week and a half, and I've started reading them. So I've got an audiobook going on my phone. I've got a digital book going on my phone. I've got a couple like general health and wellness books going, like physical books, and then I just received the book club book. The book club meets next week. You get a month to read it, but I didn't pick it up until a couple days ago because I was dropping off books that Jason had culled to donate to the library book sale, and so I just got that book, and I'm about 10 chapters in, and that one is called Lessons in Chemistry. I'm liking it so far, but I'll let you know next week. I will have read it by then because book club is next Thursday. So anyways, yeah. So I was reading the Dr. Weil 8 Weeks to Optimum Health, and I'm like, you know, I really ought to kind of, because I've been doing the same thing. I walk the dog about 3 miles a day, and that's constant, and that's good. Like kind of like maintain your fitness level, but it's not get you more fit, you know. It's just kind of like a maintenance thing. So I'm like, I like to be a little more fit. Summer's coming up. I'm always struggling when I first, you know, when the weather gets good, the ice melts, and I'm first starting to kayak and paddleboard and stuff, because the kayak's a little easier to manage, but the paddleboard's heavy. I have one of the stand-up solid paddleboards, so it's about 50 pounds, and it's awkward and big and heavy. It's like, yeah, I really got to build up, you know, my muscles so I can lift the paddleboard. Also build up like core strength, so you know, avoid injuries if you fall, all that sort of thing, and just also, you know, to look good in summer clothes. So I've been working out. I've been doing these workouts on my phone. There's like a little women's fitness app that I that I haul out every spring. Let me tell you, friends, for the last like 3 or 4 years, I've used that little like 28-day challenge and different workouts on there to get fit. And so between that and a couple like videos I found on YouTube, I've been like adding that just a little short kind of toning workout in, just like use your own body strength type workout, so you don't have to go and get any fancy dumbbells or anything like that. And so I'm at the stage in my workout journey where everything is sore and I'm convinced I have a hernia. Hopefully this will pass soon and I'll be able to see some more some definition and whatnot, but I'm just kind of in the like, I stretch. What's worse is like if I cough or if somebody gets me laughing, and I was like, oh, my stomach. But other than that, or you sneeze, you know, you have like a rogue sneeze and it's like, oh, my abs. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good. I think I am safely out of the artist block, which is really good because I was beginning to get kind of worried. I have a couple paintings coming out, a couple tutorials that should be out right now. because it was set to post Fridays. I was just actually looked at my channel, because before I turned the camera on, it's like this week has been kind of a blur, and a lot of things that I've posted have been pre-scheduled. So I'm like, I don't even know what videos are live on my channel, what videos are scheduled for the future or whatnot. So that's up. It's a very easy pastel painting if you want to check that out. And those donuts back there, I did edit that in real time, so that's going to be coming out soon. And the gummy bears is a time lapse, and that will be coming out at some point. So you have those to look forward to. I did decide to do videos. I've been sharing this. I like to share the work on Instagram, a still photo, and then I can really ascertain whether people want a tutorial for it, because people will ask generally, or maybe I'll ask if it's something I feel like doing. So sometimes I share something that I did not film. Like I did these onions. I don't have my sketchbook down here because it's upstairs on my fun art desk. That's the desk it's like a drafting table that's right by the big French doors overlooking the backyard. And I like to sit there and just kind of like putter away on something. There's like no possibility of filming there. There's no place to even put a camera. It's just where I kind of art play stuff. And I did have some requests for a tutorial of the onions that I painted up there, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I don't want to paint it again. And, you know, I mean, I don't need to record everything. I don't need to record all of my life, all of my artistic life. Well, what's up? Well, let me see. I make these just little lists when I think of something interesting. This week has been kind of a slower week. My husband had Monday and Tuesday off, so we had some adulting stuff to do. You know, we had your taxes are due next month, and so like getting all that stuff together and things like that. Just plus, you know, just relaxing and stuff because he had a couple days off. And then I just kind of puttering around a lot this week. I was kind of waiting for this other project to start, waiting to hear back from somebody. So so I had some downtime. So, you know, painting donuts and editing videos that I just have, you know, I've had just sitting on the hard drive. So yeah, lots of little puttery stuff. The kids will be home from spring break this weekend. As I'm recording this, my daughter Lila and her friends are heading up. And sometime during the weekend, Maisie and her friend will be coming back. So I'm not sure, like, I assume probably most of the bedrooms will be occupied with, with kids before dorms open, but that's totally fine. I'm totally cool with that. And I'm going to do some more baking. I baked a bunch of cookies. I baked a couple loaves of bread. I think I might bake a really big batch of like breadsticks, like cheesy breadsticks, because I imagine the girls will be getting in really late tonight because they have a really long drive. So that way they can just like crack open some marinara sauce and just have some breadsticks before they, you know, crash for the night. But yeah, so it's kind of weird because it was the girls' spring break week, but I haven't really seen much of them because they've been road tripping with their friends, which I think is awesome because, you know, your college years are just such a fun time, and you really want to take advantage of those opportunities to, you know, just be young with your friends and do all that sort of stuff. Oh, something funny happened. Maine made the national news this week, or maybe it was last week. There was, and I'm surprised nobody asked if it was me, but there's a vegan that has a license plate that says "Love Tofu," and the state of Maine is cracking down on potentially obscene license plates. And I mean, honestly, I saw this story about 5 times, and I'm like, what is obscene about that? And there's even like bumper stickers on his car that's like vegan, and you know, it's just different vegan bumper stickers. So it's obviously not like a lewd license plate. I mean, it took me like, it wasn't until I saw like the Daily Show do a parody of, or talk about this and do like a little skit about it, that I realized what LOVETOFU could be, which I'm not gonna find the Daily Show clip, because I was like, love tofu, how is that like lewd? How can that be misconstrued? It took me, there's some people with dirty minds working at the Department of Motor Vehicles in the state of Maine, friends. So apparently they've recalled like tons of license plates because they've been they've been considered lewd. And then the best part of this, I was watching the news yesterday morning, and it was our local Channel 5 News, and there was the 2 anchors and the weather guy. They kicked the newscast. The lighthearted story at the end of a newscast is called a kicker. I used to work in a news department, so they were kicking the newscast with that story, and so they're all like, you know, bantering back and forth. And one of the news the news ladies said, she said, yeah, I see this this license plate around town I really like, and it says "You, David" from that show, and nobody knows what the show is. And they're like, what? And she can't say the name of the show because the name of the show is kind of a little bit of a swear word. It's a play on words, but it's so she can't say what the name is, and it's like the most awkward. It was the most awkward little little conversation on the TV that I found that very amusing. Well, actually, I could say it. This is my YouTube channel. It's not a swear, but the show is really funny. It's got Eugene Levy and his son in it. It's called Schitt's Creek, and it's about this guy who his like accountant embezzled all the money that he was supposed to pay taxes with, and so they lose everything, and they like inherit, except they have this like this little motel or something in this town called Schitt's Creek, I believe, and so it's like their antics on doing that. I haven't watched all the episodes. The kids, my husband, have all watched it. I will catch one every once in a while. It's really cute, but anyway, so she's trying not to say the name of that TV show while she's like, you know, kind of bantering at the end of a newscast, like trying to, you know, kill time until like the CBS morning show comes on. But I thought that was very funny. But anyways, love tofu. That was considered obscene, and you can use your imagination as to why. Let's see. Oh, what else? I was thinking, I've been watching Northern Exposure. And every time Maggie comes on that show and she's got her the little like bush plane, I'm like, oh, I think I would like to learn how to how to fly an airplane. And my husband's looking at me every time. She's like, I think I want to learn how to fly an airplane. And my husband's just like, have you lost your mind? Just give me that look. He gets every once in a while. He'll give me this look. It's like, have you lost your damn mind? And I'm like, you know what? People do that. People learn how to fly airplanes. So I started doing research on how do you. I don't necessarily want a pilot's license. I mean, I don't want to go that extreme, but I would like to get in a plane and fly it. So I found out there are several outfits in Maine where you can take flying lessons, and it's like under $300, and you get in, and there's obviously like a pilot with you, so it's not like you're just like, hey, good luck to you. You know, you're in a plane with a pilot for like about 90 minutes, and you fly around. And I'm like, oh, I think that's what I need to do for my birthday. So yeah, I'm thinking about that. Then I was thinking about hot air balloons, and wouldn't it be cool to go up in a hot air balloon? I have never been in a hot air balloon, and I think it would be marvelous. So then I started researching hot air balloons, and we've got hot air balloon companies all over the state. Well, not all over the state, but there's a few. And then there's even a little balloon festival in Lewiston. And you know what? Somebody I went to college with, who I just had lunch with, a couple weeks ago, lives in Lewiston. So I'm thinking, oh my gosh, our next college get together has got to be hot air balloon festival. So bucket list is getting things on the bucket list are getting checked off, because you know what? Something that's been really kind of like a wake-up call and kind of been freaking me out, probably has also spurred on my quest for fitness, is that people are passing away. Like it seems like every day I go onto Facebook and somebody I know, a real life person I know, is losing like a sibling. Like people my age are losing siblings that aren't much older than me. People are losing spouses, you know, after a brief illness. It's like, what? 60-year-old people just dying after brief illnesses or unexpectedly. And it's like, this is, I don't know, maybe it's just I'm being aware of it, and maybe it's always been like this, but it seems like I'm seeing a lot more people passing away young. And it's scary, and I don't like it. And when you start to see people that you know whose siblings and spouses are passing away, it really puts life into perspective. And it's like, yeah, don't put off taking that flying lesson. Don't put off hopping that hot air balloon. Don't put off painting that painting. Don't save those good supplies for someday, because they might be in a dumpster out in your front yard, you know, after you're dead and gone. So, you know, use them now when you have the chance. But it's a very sobering thought when you see that. I mean, we see famous people pass away young sometimes, and that's tragic, but we don't know them. It doesn't seem real. But when it's people in your community or people related to people you know, a friend of mine's husband passed away last year, and it was just like, just out of the blue, he was at work and had a heart attack. And it's like, oh my word. You know, when I think of men having heart attacks in their 50s, that seems like something that happened, you know, mid last century. You know, it doesn't seem like, you know, men today should be having heart attacks in their 50s with all the medical advances and stuff like, but I feel like that's increasing now. I don't know if our health is just deteriorated so much, or people aren't getting the exercise that they should, or they're not eating right and just like cholesterols are going crazy, or people aren't getting the health care that they need. I'm sure it's a combination of everything. But yeah, so I want to be proactive on that. So, let's do this for a book recommendation. I've noticed like every week I've started to make book recommendations. So this week I'm going to recommend an oldie but a goodie, Dr. Andrew Weil's 8 Habits for Optimum Health. It has stood the test of time. I've read this book. I remember reading it before I had kids, and I've read it at least once since I've had kids, and I'm rereading it now. It's all good advice. There's nothing extreme. There's nothing outlandish. I don't think he's a vegetarian. He was a vegetarian at one point, but I think he does eat fish. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big believer in a vegetarian diet. My diet's been vegan for 28 years, so I mean, I am definitely a big believer that is that's the way for me anyway. But you know, I think as long as you're healthy and, you know, eating whole food and exercising and having community, that's the other thing. We have become so disconnected, you know, reaching out. Like I've mentioned before, this is my year of reaching out, and my sister and I are making plans to go plein air painting. In fact, we were talking about where we'd want to go, and because I drove down, I took the convertible out on Sunday, and I took that top down. It was sunny. It was like, I don't know, 45 degrees, but it was sunny out. And I'm like, I'm going to drive to my parents, my sister, they live about an hour and 15 minutes south. And so, like, yeah, I'm going to go to top down. I'm going to put the top down, put the windows up, put the heat on, and I'm going to be good. And I didn't have a hat on. I didn't have gloves. I don't know what sort of, you know, positive vibes I was inhaling, but I was like, I'm going to be all set. I get about, I don't know, to the closest gas station. I think it was probably, I don't know, I probably got like about 3 or 5 miles, 10 minutes or something, I don't know. And I pulled over and I had to put the top up. I'm like, yeah, no, I can't do this. I can't get on the interstate like this. I'm going to freeze. So I put the top back up, but at least, you know, it gave me some good practice on how to do the top, put the top up and down. But it was still a nice drive. It was a nice drive because it was nice and sunny, and visited with my folks for a bit, then went over, visited my sister and her husband. And so my sister's very nervous about riding in a car with me driving. I don't know why. I mean, I'm 6 years older than her. I've had my license 6 years longer than she has. So, I mean, I don't know what her deal is. But anyway, so we're talking about where she wanted to go plein air painting. I'm like, I do that all the time in the summer. I'm happy to go with you. And so she was talking about going to the botanical gardens in Boothbay Harbor. And I'm like, that sounds great. And then she's like, and Ron can drive us, her husband. And I'm like, I can drive us. I can drive. Like, we can take the convertible. She's like, and she's like, Ron, would you mind driving us to the botanical garden? I'm like, what? And not only that, it's like when I drive, it's like a fun adventure, you know? So it's like, it's a little thrill. But she wasn't going for that. Then I was telling my husband, and he's like, well, I want to go to the botanical gardens. I'm like, well, that's great. We can all go. And then you and Ron can go hang out, and Brian and I can paint. So that's one of our fun adventures we have planned this summer. And yeah, I just basically kayak, paddleboard, beach. We're gonna get rid of our truck though. We're gonna sell it because it's pretty old, and yeah, I think, you know, I don't know, we're at the age where tinkering with vehicles is very unappealing, so I think we're gonna sell it. And I don't know, I think I could probably put the paddleboard in the Jeep, like kitty corner, or on top of the Jeep, but I'll definitely, you know, I definitely need to build up my strength if I'm gonna be hoisting the paddleboard or a kayak on top of the Jeep onto the roof rack. So yeah, and it does give you, because like I think your goals need to be smart, they need to be specific. Let's see, what does SMART stand for? It's like specific, is it manageable? Measurable. Specific, measurable, attainable, timely, and relevant. Relevant, timely, because it spells smart. So yeah, that's a total SMART goal. You know, I want to be strong enough to lift a kayak up or a paddleboard up over my head onto the roof rack of the Jeep. And also then not get tired, like paddling. I find that kayaking is more, I find that like maneuvering, I find that transporting the paddleboard is more physically taxing, but I find that paddling the kayak is more taxing than paddling the paddleboard. But I like it both. I have 2 kayaks, so I can kayak with friends, which is really nice. Because sometimes you want to be in solitude, and other times you want to, like, you know, chit chat, you know, as you drift down the stream. Trying to think, did I post anything else? I posted a review. I finally posted the review on the Gansai Tambi paints on Monday because I saw that they were going to be back in stock at Blick. Blick had a notification on their website saying back in stock March 3rd. March 13th. So I'm like, okay, great. I'll post my review on that day so that people won't be bummed out because they've been sold out. It's like every time I do a tutorial with them, they sell out. And I'm not saying that's because of me. They're a popular product. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait to do the review until people can find them, and that way they've had time to think about it, whether it's something that's really for them. They've seen them in action a bit, then they can kind of hear final thoughts, so they're not like rushing out, because I know it can be really tempting if like you've been interested in something. I gotta see the time. Okay, we're good. You're interested in something, right? And then you're like, oh, I better grab it before it's gone. But when you make rash decisions like that because you're worried about missing out, often those aren't the best decisions. So I don't want to push people into making rash decisions like, oh my gosh, it's not going to be around for much longer, so you better, get it now. I want people to make thoughtful decisions so they buy things that they will use in the long term, or at least come back to from time to time again. Like I think with the Art Nouveau palette, it's such a specific color palette. It's not going to be your most versatile paints. They're going to be something when you're in that mood. You want that that vintage vibe. You want those pastel tones, those muted tones, those that bespoke palette. You want that arrangement of colors chosen for you. But I don't think it's something you're going to use all the time. But hopefully it's something that will be kind of classic and will come back out often. Kind of like like a favorite scarf or something like that. So that review posted, but I believe they sold out again. So, what are you going to do? They're so popular. I'm surprised they didn't make more of them. But anyway, I think you could probably still order them and they'll just ship them when they come. So like I know when I need to order stuff, I will just keep a list. And then once I have enough to hit free shipping, then I order. So that way it just saves on shipping. And it also keeps me from impulse buying. That's why I don't have Amazon Prime, because it's just too easy to like impulse buy something. If you have to wait until you have $25 worth of stuff in your cart, then it keeps you from like impulsive buying, and then you can subtract things out of your cart if you're like, yeah, now that I think about it, I don't really need 3 stick blushes, or whatever it is that you're tempted by at the moment. So yeah, I really don't have too much to report. I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you do something fun this weekend. Paint something, create something, go for a top-down ride in your convertible, whatever it is, you do you. And we will see you next time. Till then, happy crafting. Bye.